Today's presentation is about vintage costume rings, and this presentation is brought to you by QualityVintageEngagementRings.com. Now, vintage costume rings are a lot of fun because they contain bright colors and bold styles, and they really are a great way to add some unique style and characteristic to an outfit. Costume jewelry was very popular back in the 1970s and the 1980s. That's where most of the costume rings date back to, although it is becoming more and more popular now, and so there are new pieces of vintage costume rings and jewelry that are being made, with some unique styles, but a lot of the newer pieces are made, replicating the styles that were used in the 1970s and the 1980s. All of the vintage costume jewelry was made to be very bright. It's created to surprise and shock. It's all about adding, unique characteristic, unique style, and spicing up the outfit. It's a great way, girls, to be able to just, add a little bit of personality and catch someone's eye. Do keep in mind that much of the vintage costume jewelry is made very cheaply. It's not made as high quality jewelry. A lot of times it's made, in bulk so that it's very cheap to buy, and you can purchase, lots of different kinds, so you have a lot of options to accessorize your outfits. Vintage costume rings have many different styles. There's not one specific style or trait or characteristic that's unique to the costume rings, which makes it a lot of fun because it gives you tons of options. A lot of times, like in the 1970s and the 1980s, the costume jewelry was made to imitate the movie stars' jewelry. And so, a lot of times it was made with the cheaper quality items, like, cheaper gold and cheaper stones, but they tried to imitate the glitzy, fancy movie star jewelry as much as possible. The most popular color of metal for vintage rings, for the costume rings, is gold. You're going to find a lot more gold than like the silver type of colors. And you're also going to see that rhinestones were very popular. They liked the different colored rhinestones and different arrangements of rhinestones within the jewelry. So that is the big, one of the characteristics that you can find, although there are many other characteristics. That kind of just gives you a general overview about vintage costume rings and vintage costume jewelry. For more information, or if you'd like to see some actual pictures of some of the vintage costume rings, check out our website, and that was www.qualityvintageEngagementRings.com.